I'm here to introduce Ann Harrison, and she's the one that wrote the book Rev Up Adult Stem Cells, and it's at Amazon for $9.95. And Ann, can you let us know the phone number that everybody can contact you at, please?
Yeah, they can always reach me at Boomers Forever Young. And I'm there with Bob and so many other of our staff members. And that number is 727-443-2500. 727-443-2500. And then, you know, when people call in and they ask about what we're going to be talking about today in my segment, then I'm always going to reach back to them. Now, I have to admit, since the last time I was on Mark Z, the phone rang and rang and rang to talk to me, and I'm behind even in calling all those people back. But when I call those people back, I'm going to give them my own cell phone number so they can reach me anytime they have questions in the future about what we're going to talk about today, okay?
Wow, you're a wonder lady.
All right. Well, I like to be accessible 7 days a week because, you know, people can have questions 7 days a week, not just Monday through Friday, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I mean, the system that you have will make Bob's products and, you know, Boomer products make you feel great, right?
Well, yeah, what we're going to do in combination with Bob's products, if people, you know, get this after, you know, a period of time from what they learn about today and do their research, they're going to get way more better benefits from any nutritional supplements they take or even the food they eat, okay? So, and, you know, we all want to get a big bang for our buck because, you know, that's why some medical doctors have told us for many years, why are you taking those nutritional supplements? It's just like a waste of money. You're just going to, you know, pee it out. And yeah, you are going to lose a lot of those very expensive nutritional supplements if you don't have technology like we're going to talk about. So all those good nutrients can get into every single cell of the body. So you ready for me to talk about it, Walter?
Yes, ma'am. You are super great. Let's hear it.
Okay, we're all super great. And so today when we're going to talk about, my talk is going to be about age reversal. I mean, after all, I do work at an anti-aging company. And so before I talk about age reversal, I always like to remind people, what is aging and disease anyway? Okay, and so Wikipedia, I always like to go out to them, says that aging and disease is a process that goes on over the entire adult lifespan of any living thing. It says aging is a progressive change in an organism that leads to an increased risk of disability, disease, and death. And Wikipedia goes on to say that examples of aging-associated diseases are atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease, cancer, arthritis, cataracts, osteoporosis, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and Alzheimer's disease. And unfortunately, the incidence of all these diseases increases exponentially as we age. But before we go on to that in more detail, I want to remind you, Walter, remember back in the 1980s, we were taught that the major cause of aging was free radical damage. And that is why for the last 40 years, everybody has been making really a concentrated effort, if they care about their health, to take nutritional supplements like vitamin C and vitamin E, for example. Remember that, Walter?
I sure do.
Okay. But, you know, nevertheless, since people started taking those kind of supplements, supplementing with antioxidants over the last 4 decades, you know, although those antioxidants may have slowed down the aging process a little bit, in terms of dramatically slowing down the aging process, there's obviously a missing link. And why do I say that? Is because no matter how many antioxidants people take, we can see that just like what happened to our aging grandparents, older people keep having to watch their health decline as they keep patching up their aging bodies with things like hip replacements, knee replacements, heart bypasses, stents, cataract surgery, and the list goes on and on. And even worse than that, with people depending on antioxidants to keep them well, nevertheless, many people end up spending their last years of life, like their grandparents, in an assisted living center, wearing diapers, watching TV in a wheelchair, and not even being able to remember their loved ones' names. So in terms of slowing down or reversing the aging process, there obviously has been a missing link. There's got to be something more than we can do to.
And tell us, please, after all that list of stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, that's, unfortunately, the average person spends the last 3 years in America, the last 3 years of their life in assisted living. And that's very, very expensive. And then they have to give up their independence. They have to eat the food that they're given. And you know how it goes. So we don't want to do that if we can help it. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, after me studying the subject of age reversal for the last 11 years, I can tell you with a surety that unless people wake up and start taking their health more seriously, like my husband and I know, it takes work. I mean, we're fighting the aging process. And just like Wikipedia said, the older we are, the faster we age. Okay. And so we have to start biting the bullet. And if we want to, don't end up our lives like that, we have to put some money out, and not a lot of money, but we have to start doing things that were not even known prior to the 21st century, because there have been anti-aging discoveries since the year, but since before when my grandparents lived, right? And a lot of people keep treating their body just like we were living, decades ago. But, let's get serious. Let's take steps to reverse the aging process, and then we're going to end up our life much happier and healthier. My motto is, don't go down in diapers, and stay happy and healthy until the day you take your last breath. Okay?
I know her.
Hey, Mark, isn't she good or what?
Yeah, she's great.
Okay, but I have good news for people on this call who are willing to take and do what it takes to avoid spending their last several decades of life in such a declining and painful state that I just previously mentioned. And so Mark and Walter and Bob and I and others at my company and so many of my friends and other people I know across the country, we're all using something to greatly enhance our quality of life in our older years. And that's getting an amazing piece of technology in our homes, with all of us noticing incredible age reversal results. And we're going to talk about this now. It's a mat that we lay on a few minutes a day to increase our blood flow and the amount of stem cells in circulation. We're going to talk about why that's so important to have good health. And after people take time to investigate this amazing mat, and let's say they ultimately decided they wanted to move forward to get one of those mats in their home, yes, it's going to cost them some money, but the good news is not very much money overall. It's only going to be about as low as $60 per month on a credit card, and then they work to pay off the balance when they can. So because before we talk about this age reversal mat, I want to talk about some age reversal discoveries, okay, that are phenomenal, life impactful, life-changing age reversal discoveries that were made even in the year 2019, okay? So that's only a couple years ago, okay? And so remember, Walter, there's been so many discoveries made because now they're saying knowledge is doubling every 18 months or far less. And so, and now one of those discoveries that has come down way, way, way in price is being able with high-powered magnification to see into our body's cellular level and to see what's actually happening with super magnification, with high-powered microscopes to see what's actually happening in our body as we age. And so because that technology has come down in price, now there's hundreds of universities all around the world that have scientists working there that have this technology. They're doing research on, human anatomy. And these scientists, and two of them in the year 2019, announced to the world two new theories of aging. Before it was free radical damage was the theory of aging. But now the two new theories of aging are, number one, having poor microvessel blood flow in the teeniest of capillaries, and number two, not having enough stem cells going where they need to go to fix up our problems. So nicely enough, with this amazing mat that all of us are using in the convenience of our home, this mat can target both of those two issues, the causes that they're saying are the root cause of aging. Because every time we lay on that mat, our microvessel blood flow is increased by up to 30%. And every time we lay on that mat, the signal from the mat is going to increase the amount of stem cells coming out of our bone marrow by up to 20 to 60%. And scientists now know with increased blood flow and more circulating stem cells, age reversal is now absolutely possible. We're not just slowing down the aging process. Remember, aging is a disease process, okay? It's a disease. All those diseases I named that Wikipedia mentioned, okay? And because of that, when people start using this blood flow increasing, stem cell increasing mat once or twice a day, with the age reversal effects we experience, pretty much all the users of this amazing mat will soon start enjoying having way more energy. And with all that increased blood flow over time, most of us, if not all of us, will start noticing so many of our age-related health conditions beginning to improve. And nicely enough, as I said, if people feel they deserve to feel years younger, and it comes down to feeling deserving enough, because I'm amazed that some people will spend thousands of dollars on their pet, on their dog, on their cat. And then they said, oh, I don't want to spend, $300 to get a tooth fixed. Okay. I mean, they love their animals. They think their animals deserve to feel much better than they do themselves. I don't know why, but that's just the case. So if someone decided they deserve to feel years younger with way more energy, pretty much, like I said, anyone could just get this mat for only $60 per month. So, Walter, aren't you glad that you have this mat in your home?
I sure am, Ann, for sure. Yeah, I feel more energy, and I think people can tell that I feel energy, and I feel as though that in order for me to keep healthy for the rest of my life, I gotta do that too, 8 minutes twice a day, because but I do have one question to ask you, Ann, is that what's the difference between our mat and anybody else's mat? Isn't there some big, it's a big advantage to get our mat compared to anybody else's mat? Because I thought you told me about that.
Well, yeah, our mats, the only reason that this is advanced to the point it is many years ago, about 20 years ago, the German government that has socialized medicine, they were trying to keep their health costs down, and they knew that most of the health expenditures were made by the people over age 55 and up. And those people they're the ones, and I'm in that category because I'm 69, they're the ones that have poor blood flow, particularly the microvessel blood flow. And that's why there's over 185,000 lower limb amputations in this country alone every year. That's just this country, because modern medicine hasn't figured out quite yet how to get the blood flowing in those microvessels to the point where we don't need to have, let's say, ulcers that don't get repaired in our feet, that turn into gangrene. And that's why, that technology is needed in the hospitals as well. And more and more of what we have is being purchased by the hospitals, because this particular device, not like any other device, is FDA cleared as a Class 2 device. Class 2 means safe and effective as proven in clinical trials. All those other mats are only classified as a class 1 that people are getting in their homes. And class 1 means it's safe, but those companies don't have 18 years of clinical trial research funded by the German government to prove and to make this signal better and better and better by running thousands of people through clinical trials over those 18 years to make the signal so effective that it's light years ahead of any other technology on the market that anyone could even follow.
That's exactly, I remember you telling me that. I go, boy, Ann, you ought to say that on Mark's show. You know?
Well, thank you, Walter. I love it when people remind me what I should be saying because, you know, sometimes I get too involved with these little details I like to share with people that I forget the important things that they should know.
Well, Ann, I'll tell you what, you give out more details than anybody else I've ever met, maybe except for Bob, you know? Well, no, for sure, Bob, okay?
Yeah, no, Bob, I was going to say, Bob is, his knowledge is unreal.
Yeah.
Well, he's a walking encyclopedia, but I want to say the great thing about being invited to talk on the world famous Mark Z show is the people that listen to Mark Z, they listen, you know, for hours at a time during the week. And so then they have a longer attention span. Okay, because most Americans now only have like a 20-second attention span. And so because they're not, you know, challenging their brain to learn, you know, a lot of new information. Okay, and so when I get to talk to people over the phone, I throw so much scientific information at them, and I can tell like 95% of the people are listening to me. They're not tuning out. Because, you know, when you talk to a person over the phone, everybody's mind can wander from time to time. But I can tell they are really listening. And that's because they're smart enough to be listening to the Mark Z show.
Mark Z people are the best.
I agree with you. They are the best.
Go ahead.
Okay. So in any event, getting back on topic, you know, like I said, the older we are, the faster we age. You know, if a person's in their 60s, they're going to even age a lot faster than even when they were in their 50s. So, you know, without taking steps to slow down the aging process, however a person feels today, you know, we all know physically how we feel with our aches and pains. However a person feels today, because we're only aging faster and faster with each passing year, it's only going to, if they don't take steps like we're talking about, getting technology like this to get their blood flowing better, to get the stem cells flowing more out of our bone marrow and getting taken where they need to go with their blood, it's only going to feel worse and worse with each passing year. Okay, so let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, people say for their pain level, they feel like a 7. Well, guess what? 4 years from now, they're probably going to feel like a 10. Okay. So,
oh, no.
Yeah. So it really saddens me. I mean, we're all kind of like oblivious to this. Like I have a picture in my wellness center. I paid $50 to get that specific photo rights. Because I wanted that frog picture, you know, the cartoon picture of a frog sitting in, you know, boiling water. And he didn't even realize through the years, we're saying for people, but for him, a person was slowly turning up, you know, the temperature of that water. And he had no clue that he was really being boiled to death, because it was just a gradual change. And as my friend Diane says, and in terms of our health and the systems that we're in, we're like all in jail, okay? And she said, if we were in actual jail, we would find the bail money. And to me, to get out of jail, to see our health decline like our grandparents did, where they ended up in diapers in a wheelchair and not remembering their name, to me, $60 a month is my bail money, okay? I can pay $60 a month to avoid that very unfortunate, slow, painful demise. Okay.
Wow, man, you're really hitting it on all cylinders, that's for sure.
Okay, so, and guess what? when the average person spends the last 3 years of their life in assisted living, you know that's $6,000 a month, okay? On average, do the math, okay? What is that? $6,000 a month. Like probably $72,000 a year, I guess. I'm not the greatest in math.
Yeah, I mean,
okay?
if you, I was going to say, it's 72 grand.
Mark, what did you say? You're the genius with the figures.
72 grand. But no, think about that. I mean, if you can take care of yourself and avoid even a year. So if you spend 50 grand over the next couple of years just on your health, and it keeps you out of one of these for 10 months, it paid for itself. And gave you quality of life. So, I mean, you really do. You got to weigh and measure those things. I know everybody's still got to eat, and you've only got so much money in those things, but it's a weigh and measure. If I can stay, I think about what I've spent to stay on my feet as long as I have, because I'm 14, 15 years past when they told me there was no way I'd still be functional. Worth every penny. It's tough when you're spending it, but yeah.
Yep.
Wow, Mark, you're doing great, man.
Yes, he is. He's so handsome on that show, too. Okay.
Oh.
It's the red shirt.
Okay. So what I wanted to say to bring this to light, let's think about it. So if someone says to me, how can you ask a person to spend that kind of money? I tell that person, I'm not trying to get people to spend money. I'm trying to get people to save money. For example, people are telling me their co-payments have gone up to $40 for a single office visit. Think about how much more people are already paying to get their blood to flow better. For example, when I go to, let's say, the massage therapist, okay, that massage therapist is rubbing my muscles or kneading my muscle, massaging my muscle to get my blood to flow better. Chiropractors are adjusting our bodies to open up our spines and joints to make our blood flow better. Acupuncturists are placing needles in our bodies to make our blood flow better. And by the way, acupuncturists and chiropractors and massage therapists, they're getting this technology and putting it in their own clinics, because they know when they put a person on this mat, their job is going to be so much easier, because when the person's blood is already flowing 30% better into those microvessels, then their adjustments and, they're going to go a lot easier. Their massage, they're not going to have to work as hard on the human body, okay? And think about all those people who pay for a gym membership, $40, whatever it is a month, to run on treadmills or sit in saunas or hot tubs to make their blood flow better, okay? Not to mention all the time they spend driving to all those different places, compared to, let's say, what you, Walter, and Mark and Bob and I now can so easily do to get our blood to flow way, way more better through the microvessels by up to 30%, when all they're doing, the best they're doing, let's say minutes of aerobic exercise, they're only getting their blood flowing by a mere 9% more. When Cornell University, with this technology now to see into the microvessels, said the people that have that major terrible memory loss situation, I don't even like to name the disease, they discovered in the year 2019 that the people that have that dreaded disease, they have 30% less blood flow to their brain. And they said at the end of their clinical trial, when we increase blood flow, we get immediate restoration of cognitive and spatial function.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that you've said is that, because I know people that have that, I don't even want to say the word either, but if you could kick their blood flow up 30% and then take them out of the brain fog thing, how great is that? Really? Because that's
you're right.
Okay, go ahead.
It depresses people when they can't think of, names of the people that they know, or they walk into a kitchen and don't know why they're there, or worse yet, I remember years ago, my father was driving somewhere and he forgot where he was, and he went into actually it was 2:00 in the afternoon. He went into a bar and he said, can you tell me where I am? Because if you can tell me where I am, I can probably find my way home.
That actually makes me want to cry. I mean, I don't even like saying that, but I mean, but if you could take people out of that situation and take the families out of the situation, because it totally pressurizes the family on top of it, you know?
I know, it's bringing tears to my eyes to think about that right now. Yep, thank you. So anyway, 30% seems to be the magic number from an age reversal standpoint. And that's why organizations like NASA called this company up where we got our map from, and they said, we need this technology for our astronauts. That's why the NFL Retirees League is using it, because, you know, those people that have the mini concussions, well, they're not getting enough blood flow to their brain, okay? And so that's why they love this. They'll even reimburse their NFL retirees with a contract after 1986 for this technology, because they know there's nothing else in the world that can help them. They don't want them to keep committing suicide, okay? And so, including world famous athletes playing all different kinds of sports, and so many hospitals around the country are now using the same blood flow increasing and stem cell increasing mat that we decided to get in our homes for a mere $60 per month, okay? So what we want to talk about now is why this having blood flow and extra, you know, stem cells are so important. So I am going to look at our time, so you just keep me on time, Walter. You tell me, give me a 5-minute warning, okay?
Mark, what's good for you? How much more?
I don't have much more time, so if you're going to give Walter some time, we'll need to do it soon, or I can schedule a time for Walter to have it by himself. It's up to you guys.
It's up to Walter.
Go ahead and finish it off, and I can schedule it later with Mark. Whatever's good.
Okay, so anyway, Mark, tell me how many minutes left?
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. So let me just look through all my notes here, and I'm going to kind of like get to the bottom line of
so much stuff already. It's unbelievable. So you're doing great.
Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know and haven't read my book, you know, stem cells, that's the answer. Okay. And your stem cells are your building blocks. I mean, let's say when your body's breaking down, this is, you know, you need to repair your body, and you have your own internal repair kit, and that's your own adult stem cells. But unfortunately, the older we are, the worse our the amount of stem cells come out of our bone marrow. When we get older, not enough want to come out. And that's why we age. That's what scientists now know. But once you get those stem cells where they need to go, then what they do is within 72 hours, they dock and they become a tissue-specific cell. Like they'll turn to become a brain cell. They'll, you know, after they come out of your bone marrow and the blood takes them where they need to go, they're going to go into your brain and become a brain cell. They're going to go into your heart and become a heart cell. And their role is to renew, repair, and regenerate. But after you get those stem cells where they need to go, well, in order for them to, you know, stay alive and thrive, then you need to feed them a rich supply of nutrients and a rich supply of oxygen. And what delivers those nutrients and oxygen is your blood through the microvessel system. You have this microvessel system that's, you know, like spider webs interweaving throughout your body. You have 2,000 of those spider web microvessels, you know, in your eyes, so to speak. And if you think you get blockages in your heart arteries the size of a straw, then how many blockages you can have in those little teeny microvessels that in order for a red blood cell to fit in there, it has to squeeze and contort. And you can put 250 red blood cells across the head of a pin. So you can see you need more stem cells, you need more microvessel blood flow so the body can renew, repair, and regenerate and stay happy and healthy for the rest of your life. And the only way that can happen is that we know of, that scientists know of right now, is getting this amazing piece of technology that's light years ahead of anything else, because the German government for 18 years funded the further optimization of the signal by paying a medical doctor, you know, all that money to run thousands of people through clinical trials, and provided him a high-powered microscope to see if changes that he made to the signal made it better, worse, or the same. So let's wrap this up. I know we're getting near the end of it.
Yeah, just give everybody your phone number, because everybody's going to be calling you big time.
Okay, so I encourage anyone on this call who loves themselves enough to want to stay happy and healthy to almost the day they take their last breath to phone us at Boomers Forever Young at 727-443-2500. And if you do that, one of our staff members will send out informational videos to you so you can do your own research into this amazing technology. And then, I'll talk to you on the phone, even tell you more. And then you can evaluate the benefits of having this amazing med in your home for the whole entire family to use, and even your pets, because it's only 8 minutes twice a day, and we can all share it. Okay. So how's that one?
And that was the best ever. You really did a great job. Mark, do you have any questions for Ann?
No questions. I appreciate her taking the time to join us, Walter, and thank you for lining everybody up. And I'll